Hello. Today I'm doing a quick stream just for the sake of recording because I would like to have the interface and I have a little bit of time before I continue my paper route, but I wanted to go over one of my losses yesterday. What I'm doing is I'm doing 5 games per day this season, ideally, exactly 5, no more, no less, and so far that's gone pretty well. I'm at 9 wins, 1 loss. Gonna review the 1 loss. This game did have a player disconnect for a solid chunk of time, and it was also basically almost all Masters lobby, besides me and like one other player on the enemy team and 2 unplaced people. But I don't really consider that a discredit because I think that it's still one that I can learn a lot from by looking at a little more. And it's one that I had a lot of interesting thoughts in the process of making. So right off the bat, I've been mostly trying to play Sigma. I probably could have picked him here and it would have been fine, but I kind of wanted to give the Rein a shot because we had the Lucio, who normally it's a lot harder to get significant value out of the Lucio if you're running the Sigma, and the Zarya. And while one of those is like okay with Sigma, it's a little awkward having both because then you're really not utilizing your team's strengths effectively. And while Reinhardt isn't necessarily the best here either, because Rein Zarya is really kind of bad if I'm honest. Um, that's not terrible by any means. And Winston didn't really feel comfortable here with our deeps line of the Junkin Widow. So the first realization I had was I should not be defaulting to shielding. My default state in this game as Reinhardt should not be shielding. Because I realized that it was stopping me from doing aggro, and I was taking a ton of excess shield damage that I just didn't need to take, because there's a lot of times that you just don't need to be taking that damage. So here, like, my shield is totally healthy, but I'm totally healthy too. It's not like I need it. And then now I have full shield for when I want to, like, do stuff like this or whatever, right? The other thing is you'll notice that my teammates are playing very decisively with me here. I was not in voice chat, and there wasn't, like, text chat stuff going on here either. But because they're decent players, they can read my play, and it also helps that I'm playing in a very like clear way for what I want to do. Like it's obvious when I'm like looking to rotate or do something aggro. See, shield is totally healthy for when I'm like I can afford to use some of my HP before I have to force into shield. I'm trying to use it a lot more like Sigma shield kind of. See, and like I can just brawl in pretty fearlessly here. Now I have the shield for the press up. And like I'm just like I mean, there's all those videos of people like playing Reinhardt without using their shield in bronze or gold or silver or whatever. Like I've heard of challenges like that. But I think there's this misconception that he's just shieldy man, and I feel like that like put me on autopilot. Kind of an unfortunate shatter. I got the block though at least. So what you'll see here though is I just wasn't using my shield enough inversely though. So that's kind of the cost is I was a little bit awkward on that. This shatter was not good. So the reason being is that I was right head on. And while I would have landed it probably had he not booped me, I still don't think it's a very good shatter because I'm shattering into their Reinhardt. And that's usually not the way that you want to do it. There's this like egotistical glorification of Reinhardt duels blocking each other's shatters, etc. No, don't play fair. Don't play fair. I should have just like head-oned into the Reinhardt, tried to block his shatter, and like went for their backline or something in the cleanup phase. But this like right here, right now, I need to be shielding. And I like as soon as I block that, I just need to be holding shield here. And it's unfortunate because like I just I wasn't holding my cover close enough and just got a little sloppy. I did die after our Lucio and Bap. I don't know, did I actually block it for them? Okay, I did, but they just died to spam. No, okay, I didn't block it for our Bap. Unfortunate. Yeah. So yeah, my sloppy play put up some liability issues there. The other thing that you'll see a lot is if a person is trying to like has their shield and they're trying to intentionally use it, a lot of times they'll just like sit here like trying to block for their teammates or whatever, like just taking poke for no reason. I don't really want that. I don't want my teammates to be poking here and like encourage them to do it. I would rather just wait here. And if they die, they die. But then at least I'm at full resources for whenever my fight starts. And here I saw that our Zarya had Grav, so I was kind of hoping for an aggressive Grav play, and I was pretty sure if I would play this telegraphed that my teammates would pick up on it because they were kind of playing up near me. And honestly, I don't know if it was the best play, but it certainly wasn't the worst, and it worked. I think it was maybe a little over aggro, but at the same time, I like taking the aggressive fight there, and it's like we didn't even need Grav, fortunately, because it's really good doing fights like that that they might just not expect if you want to get the upper hand. That was pure luck that that shatter hit. Here I was just able to swing in, wait till he drops to and hit the touch spawn doors challenge, screw up my charge. Very cool normal things. It concerns me a little that their ball picked off our Widow, and I made the call here to kite back because I felt that they would push in pretty hard with us there. But unfortunately, we got separated here, and that was something we couldn't really afford because now our BAP and junk are like people just got picked off because we separated weirdly like that, which cost us a lot more down the line. So I think kiting back was the proper choice. If you're down and taking a disadvantaged fight, it's usually better to just not take the fight at all because you can always because look at it this way. If we're gonna lose the fight here, we're trading time, but they get ult charge. If we back off, we're trading yeah, they're capping the objective and they're getting we're losing space, but we're keeping that ult charge at a play. And the reason I actually made this call is because we have no ults, period. So it's very likely that we just lose this fight, especially with the 5v6. So I would rather have us play all the way back to here, stabilize when our Widow gets back, and then we can push up to there again if we need, or we can hold wherever. But overall, I was not happy taking this fight. Sometimes you do just want to die on card like that, but this is something you'll see a lot more in Overwatch 2 these days. Is is teams doing like big long kitebacks like this from a disadvantage because in 5v5 it's like super costly to have that disadvantage. So here though, I did need to be I should have been like backwards walking maybe, like glancing back more instead of just like purely hustling out, because then I could have kept a better eye on where our backline was going. But at the same time, I wanted to like really decisively be heading out. Yeah, and like I don't know why our BAP lingers there. Like they just linger a little too long. But yeah, that was a misplay by me. I needed to stick with them. And now, unfortunately, I should, yeah, like that was just a terrible play by me. I knew our BAP was dead, or at least I should have known. And obviously, I can't make a play there. I should come out the right door probably so I can. No, I guess I can charge from here too, but so here I do make the choice to contest this. Okay, once again though, how did our Lucio die to the shatter? Because I swear I'm blocking these. Where? So he's over here. Oh, okay, so he just point blanked it. And like our BAP somehow gets hit too. And I swear I'm blocking these because I'm blocking them for myself at least. Is he just in front of my shield? Oh, the ball boops me, but not him. Okay. And the reason though that we could go for this play here is that they don't actually have that many ults here. They have just their window and they have the mines, but not like immediately. So it's not the best recontest, but it's certainly not the worst in my eyes either. I think we did have to fall back from it though. Yeah. And it was kind of a tricky. Ooh, yeah, that fire strike was tempting death. I should have died there. I shouldn't have gone out alive here. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have gone for the recontest. Maybe that was just a waste. We didn't really spend any ults on it, but yeah, because of the sloppy play here, giving them because the whole thing is we were gonna give up space for a fight, but the problem is we didn't get a clean fight on this point because of the sloppy kite back. So we ended up just like not getting two fights at all on this point, which is why they have such a time advantage, despite us doing pretty well on holding first point. And then third point so far has been kind of the same. Our sloppy fight up here and kind of a messy kite back once again has led to us just like like them getting free push here because like our Lucio and Junk died on point there. So I guess rather not the kite back itself, but the lack of kite back and dedication to that was the problem. How was I that low? Oh, the fire strike and the widow. Yeah, I gotta respect more what the poke damage and fire strikes can do to me, because okay, but what is our BAP looking at here? Because I thought that they were out here and healing me. Oh, so it's just the flick to the hog. Yeah, I mean, that was unfortunate, over-aggression on my part. Right here, I could not afford to shadow that. I'm not healthy enough to even follow up. I should have just waited and gone for the fire strike window and then kept shatter for like mid-fight. Now, Ball is like a lot more of a familiar hero for me because while I play some Rein, I mostly play Ball, Winston, and Sig. Um, I don't mind this too much, but there's something. So this I think is all good. because I'm occupying their BAP as much as possible. You can kind of just ignore me because of sound barrier, but that's just how it goes. The Widow would have been the target to look at, though. The Widow and the Hanzo. Yeah, so I get the Hanzo. But then, okay. So yeah, the problem is I was focusing on the Rein here after the slam into the middle. I needed to get back to the outside again. I stayed too long in the fishbowl. And while Winston can kind of split this and then focus the Rein, I don't actually have any way of like directly splitting them as ball. I thought we could just all focus the Rein because he's in the middle of us. But I overestimated my ability to do damage and take damage here. So then, as you can see, I'm just like taking trash damage from the Hanzo and Bap in a moment. Yeah, and I get shattered because I'm with the team in main, so. Now, Siga's my main. You'll see me playing him probably a bit differently. That was actually pretty fortunate that I didn't end up dropping there because of the ball. But so a lot of what you want to do on Sig is just like this slow burn kind of play style where you just stay out of punishing range and slowly whittle away at their resources because you're able to like my primary fire is so much more renewable than Reinhardt's shield and stuff. And I'll speed it up because this is pretty like basic stuff. And notice I am taking slight off angles at times. Like this is moving out to an off angle a bit, etc. But for the most part, I'm kind of just playing chill in main because we have the Winston who's already going in for the like the hard angle. So I don't need to be making plays to make space quite as much. So we do get this point. I don't know if I should have used Flux there, honestly. But I would rather get the first point decisively. Around here is where we have the disconnect, the DC though. This is our Hanzo. The reason I'm rotating up here is because I expected them to have people up here. Not quite this many people, but which is why I just like drop out. But yeah, so now we're playing the 5v6. Here I was calling to just play it back because we don't really want to push into them when they have a sim wall up, but unfortunately team kind of did anyways, and wasn't the worst fight, but we took a lot of heat. Winston is really brutal into a 5v6 situation, just because you don't really have enough firepower to burst him down in a lot of cases. So normally, if we had a lot of the time, I would branch your rounds to here, but because I have the Winston, I'm a little hesitant on that and the ball. Here. So the reason I should have just sat right here. I shouldn't have moved into the room. I was trying to keep our Winston alive and our Ana, but then I kind of just get backed into the room. I should have just kept the distance a little more, I think. Now, we basically have to go top here, I think, with the 4 people. Because unless we go top, we just get pounded from divers from the back. And unless we get map control on this stage, we just lose with the 5v6. But unfortunately, like, they have so much ult advantage here that they can just use, like, 1 ult per fight and we lose. So I swapped to Zarya to have, like, a little more punishing power against the Winston. I don't know if that was the right choice over something like Hog, though. Just because my Zarya is maybe a little weaker. I haven't hated my bubble usage. I think I had some sloppy bubbles earlier on. But, why I had zero charge. Yeah, like I didn't need a bubble there, but I need to be a little more stingy, I think, with my bubbles. That's a pretty good one. Okay, yeah, so my issue here is playing in the hallway. I think what I needed to do was play back here if I was going to poke and just go for right clicks and leave my front line to like do the front lining because I don't really want to be on the front lining and then I would have been able to get out from stuff like this like because I'm playing at an intersection point. And really, the angle that I should have gone for is I should have gone to try and get charged by bubbling people from like here and then I should have gone here and like gone for like a backline angle because I really could have burst down their targets really fast, but I was too complacent. I think around left could have worked too, but it's like way more separated from my team, and I don't need that hard of an angle on Zarya, nor can I sustain that hard of an angle without coordination and like having a support there with me. So yeah, so like the problem is we have the Hanzo back who DC'd, but we're at this point we're already like we lost the fight at the critical spot that we couldn't really afford to lose it. I managed to get the Ana here, but I can't get to the Grav. I wasted my personal bubble there somewhere. Yeah, I didn't need to bubble that. So, unfortunately, sloppy from me on the Zarya. I felt like it was okay on the Sig. On the Rein, I have a little tricky amount of time judging the aggression for where I can get away with the shatter, like and judging how much heat I'm getting. On Zarya, I have to watch out for my bubble usage a bit, but also more to be putting myself on meaningful angles instead of just being bubble bot. Because like while I'm okay at looking for bubbles on people who are in danger and like helping with that, I need to be looking to put myself into positions that can enable me a lot more. So just a little 2 cents on that as a quick review. Might do more of these in the future if I have time in the mornings or something like this. Uh, kind of share the journey a little bit as I go through my 5 games a day for this season and hopefully hit masters and whatnot. But yeah, that's the end of the stream. Thanks for coming.